Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us. We are brought to you by Russell & Associates, coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Head coach Brian Bergstrom joins us. And Coach, I guess just first off, your first thoughts about the game against Bemidji State this week.
Well, obviously disappointed in the result, and we have to do a good job of untying our emotions of a win or a loss and focusing on what we can grow from and what we got to keep doing. Just like I said last week, as frustrating as losing is and as fun as winning is, you can't let those things get in the way. So we just weren't consistent enough as a football team. And we did some things well in the first half, especially to be in another tight game against Bemidji up there for the third time in a year. And every halftime has been about the same, where it's been a pretty close game, and every second half's been about the same, where they pulled away. And good teams will do that when you're not playing your best against them. And we got to have more consistency. We have to complement each side of the ball better. When one side makes a great play, gets a turnover, scores, we got to continue momentum, because momentum's powerful. And they had momentum on their side in the second half. We didn't do enough to stop it or create it. And then I think we need to continue to mature in our competitive composure and be able to take what we know we can do during the week and then do it. And those are areas we're going to be working on this week.
All right, so let's talk about the positives. Like you said, it was 16-10 Bemidji at the half. And if you look at the overall stats, you matched Bemidji as far as rushing yards. Passing was a little bit different. So I guess what are some of the things that you did right in the first half that need to carry over in the second half as the season moves on?
Well, defensively, we forced turnovers, and we had shorter drives, so we forced them to punt quicker. So you just save your body, you save the reps, and don't allow them to get momentum. And obviously limited points to a decent extent. Offensively, we established the run game and had some good rhythm in some drives. Now we have to finish better, and we got to finish better in red zones. We got to finish better on third down. But we're able to, last 2 weeks have been able to get things going on the ground. That's a positive. We got to keep it up. And then we felt like special teams was kind of a tie, a push. We didn't feel like we could win in special teams like we've done in the past, but we did force a couple bad punts. We flipped the field on punt team, only giving up -2 yards of a return, and made the field goal. So we have to continue to do those things in order to be successful against Northern this week.
So you are getting more pressure on defense. I think the first game you didn't get any sacks on the quarterback, and 2 weeks ago I think there was 1, and then this week 3 sacks against Bemidji. So defensive pressure is building a little bit, but it's that third quarter killer. And what is it about the third quarter? What is it about halftime adjustments that their team is making that your team is not making?
Yeah, I don't. Looking back, you immediately think, okay, what did they do different? What didn't we see? What didn't we do? And in reality, there wasn't that much that they were doing schematically different, and nor were we. Both teams had, a plan coming in, and it was a back and forth game, and we got out executed in the third quarter, and then they picked up momentum, and they're a top 10 team in the country for a reason. They're really well coached, and they got good players, and they were at home, and you get good things going, and there's not a magic button to stop momentum. I wish there was. But that's why it's so powerful, and we got to do a better job of executing. And that competitive composure that I talked about is got to be composed and mature enough to handle a break. We had good things going, handle a break, and go back out and do it again from things you've been trained to do. And ultimately, that's not finger pointing. That's right back at me. That's right back at us as coaches. We got to do a better job of getting them ready, and that's what we got this week for.
All right. So practice obviously is going on. So what are the things that are the focuses on practice? Let's talk about the offense first. What are some of the things that you're going to try to do in practice this week to get the offense going against Northern?
Well, we're going to really try and simplify and streamline Not that you don't give yourself any options, but really, really, really focus on being great at the things that we're going to put in the game plan. So you get more time with those reps during the week. We're also going to put ourselves exactly in those situations. Like, we have gotten better at the 2-minute drill because we put ourselves in exact situations where we've struggled. And we're going to put ourselves in those exact same third downs, those exact same looks, in those red zone situations. And we're going to do it against the starting defense. And that's for both sides. It's for both sides to see better speed, if that makes sense, better competition, better size. Because it's one thing to know what to do, and that's why you need scout teams. And it's another thing to practice going against what you're going to go against on Saturday. So those are some avenues where we're going to work on both sides being better on Saturday.
All right. You mentioned earlier in the interview that you need to finish a little bit better. Obviously, that would be scoring touchdowns instead of having to rely on field goals or converting. So what do you have to do on third down and fourth down? Is there any, I mean, there's no magic button, like you said, with that. But what are some of the things that you work on third down and fourth down situations to be able to extend drives or get into the end zone?
Well, I think a couple things. One, you want to do as well as you can on first, second, and third down, maybe if you're going to go for it on fourth, but to have as short a D&D as you can. That's kind of obvious. You got to win the field position battle so you can be in an area where you could go for it on fourth down. It's much easier. And then it's easier to call your second and third down calls if you know you're going for it on fourth, because you know you have another down. You don't need to get it in all those scenarios. We're not going to invent a bunch of new third down plays. What we have to do is get better at executing them. And it starts with the details. It starts with how are we doing it, and what are we doing, how are we doing it, and why are we doing it. And the more we can put ourselves in those situations and specifically practice those, I don't know a better way. I don't know, like we've said, there isn't something magical that you take to, you have to execute better. And we're going to continue to do everything we can in designing a plan, which can make it difficult on defense to know how to try to stop it. But at the end of the day, it's about running or throwing the football, blocking, and winning. And a lot of that is a mindset. And there is no other option than to win this rep on third or fourth down.
All right, we have about a minute and a half left in this segment. So Northern State is the opponent this week. What do you know about them, and what are some of the things you'll be able to try to do against them in order to get the win this weekend?
Yeah, well, they're an explosive team. They're better than their record shows. They're a team that certainly Coach Frichte is familiar with, having come from there. And the reason I bring it up is not because of that. It's more because of their offense is still very similar to ours, because they kept a lot of the same principles, which is nice for a comfort level for our defensive guys. But we lost there last year, so our guys, not that it takes losing or winning somewhere to be motivated to be your best. Our guys aren't wired that way. We're not wired that way. But we certainly have, motivation on our side that way, because they're coming to our place, and needs to be a different result. But really good team, be a great test for us, and looks like it should be a nice day.
All right, well, we appreciate the time, and good luck this weekend against Northern.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll talk to more of the coaching staff, including newcomer Bryce Cross. That's right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates certified public accountants and advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
Meet Jenny Siseski of Edina Realty. With nearly 30 years' experience, she knows that right now is the best time to sell your home. Jenny will help you get top dollar, higher than ever before. With today's low interest rates, it's time to upgrade your home and increase its value. High demand and low inventory also make this a perfect time to list your home. Call for a free market analysis. Contact Jenny Siseski at Edina Realty today, 507-458-7038.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We are brought to you by Russell & Associates, coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. We're going to talk to Bryce Cross now. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome to Winona State, first year as a coach here at Winona State. Let's find out a little bit about you. You're from the Atlanta area.
Yes, sir.
How did you get involved in football, and where did you play football?
I've been playing football since I was, 6 years old? Little league all the way up to college. I played college at Western Illinois. I started off at Georgia Southern, and yes, sir, now I'm here.
All right, and what positions did you play?
I played safety, nickel, cornerback, all three.
So you,
Defensive back.
So you got a lot of experience
Yes, sir.
in
Yes,
the secondary. So where did you, after you played, how did you decide that you wanted to be a coach, and then where did you end up going to coach?
Absolutely. So after I finished playing, I went back home, back to Atlanta from Western Illinois to finish online, finish my master's in sports management. And while I was doing my master's, I was doing an internship at Planet Fitness. I was a trainer there. So that kind of got me acclimated to like just the training people, this started helping me figure out what I wanted to do after football. That was my hardest decision, like what did I want to do after playing. And training kind of got me prepared for that, and now I'm here.
All right. So were there any connections that brought you here to Winona? How did you find out about Winona?
Absolutely. My old running backs coach, his name's Coach Kirkwood. He's now at University of North Dakota. He's close friends with Coach Frichty,
Okay.
Isaac Frichty, the offensive coordinator. So it was kind of like, just knowing people and connections. And he ended up giving Coach Kirkwood ended up giving Isaac Frichty a call, and he gave me a call, and now I'm here.
All right. I suppose this is kind of like a smaller area than what you're used to back home in the Atlanta area. What's it like to come to this type of area and have a closer knit community that kind of knows everybody?
Yes. It's kind of similar to Macomb.
Okay.
Macomb is Western Illinois,
Yeah.
where I came from in college. It's very similar. Now here it's more populated, more things to do, better scenery. Like I like hiking. I like water. So it's better than Macomb, but it's a little different than Atlanta, of course. But I like it. I love it, to be honest.
All right. Coach Bergstrom was telling us that you coach kind of alongside him because you're coaching the secondary, and he was a linebacker, and now he's coaching safeties and that. Tell us a little bit about kind of your philosophy and what some of the things are that you're trying to teach the players in the secondary.
Absolutely. Well, that's what they were going to get me here at first, until Jalen ended up coming back, and now he's here. He's coaching the secondary.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sorry.
I'm coaching the running backs.
You're running backs.
But to answer your question, I mean, it's different. I was always a defensive player. So being on the offensive side, I'm learning new things, gaining knowledge from the offensive coordinator, the run game coordinator, and other parts of the staff. So it's definitely a blessing. Coaching the running backs, though, it's been a great experience. I have a great group of guys. They work hard. They're disciplined. Attention to detail. They don't mind the little nitpicky things I say about you can do this, you can do that. They're very absorbing, welcoming, and respectful. So I'm having a great time coaching the running backs, even though it's on the other side of the ball. And it's a blessing.
What was the change then? How did you make a change from defense to running backs? And was there anything in your mind that you had to change to be able to coach offense instead of defense?
Yes. So really to change, it wasn't necessarily to change anything. It was more so just utilizing knowledge that I necessarily didn't use while playing. Okay. Now I'm, like I said, I absorb everything from Coach Frichty, so I'm learning all the schemes as far as the route concepts, the run schemes, stuff like that, and how they're trying to attack the defense and what they're looking for in the defense to know what plays they want to do, stuff like that. So now that's really what I'm getting used to now.
Okay, let's talk about. You've got about 2 minutes left. Over the course of the 3 games that you played, the running game has steadily increased, and so you're getting a lot better reps from some of your running backs. Ty Gavin scored his first rushing touchdown this past weekend. So what are some of the things that you need to work on this week in order to be successful against Northern?
I mean, like you said, they had a great game. Not great, it could be much better, but they had a good game. They stacked another game on top of CSP game. So that was really big to me. I was preaching that all week. Let's not get complacent. Let's not, just think that we've arrived because we had one good game. Let's have another good game. And I feel like they did that. They attacked the week. And really what we need to do this game is just be more consistent. I feel like there was times when we'll hit our aiming point, we'll trust our aiming point, and we'll hit it full speed, or stuff like that. And there's times when we wouldn't. We'll try to venture away from it. So I feel like we just got to be more disciplined, be more consistent, and trust the process. Trust all 11 guys will do their job, and not try to do somebody else's job. So that's really the biggest thing this week, and just have fun and execute.
All right, last question then. Do you feel it's better to kind of have running back by committee rather than have one main guy in the backfield?
Absolutely. Running backs, that's a hard position on your body. You know what I'm saying? And it's a long season. All 11 games, that's a long season. So, you want to make sure that, all of them are healthy through the whole entire season, and not just giving one guy the whole entire game and who knows what will happen. I want to make sure everybody's prepared, ready. You never know if that third guy or that first guy is going to be getting the reps come 8th game. You know what I'm saying? So make sure everybody's ready. You're only as good as your weakest link. I really believe that. So, and I don't have any weak links in the room. I feel like we all are 1A. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great thing. It's a great thing coaching the running backs.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time that you gave us here this week, and good luck against Northern.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Justin Bailey will join us right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates Certified Public Accountants and Advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
We've been warning you about Max Profit for quite a while now, but did you know that Max also works in most service departments? Do you feel uneasy when you take your car in to be serviced? Have you ever wondered why your simple oil change always includes something extra? Are you sure Max is being transparent with you? Feel confident again at Lewiston Auto. Our experienced, trained service team will give you the straight truth about your car. Lewiston Auto, Chevrolet, and Buick. Everything you want and nothing more.
Food, shelter, fast internet. It's all we really need. Good thing HBC has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home, all at once. With speeds like these, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. You want it. You need it. Get it. Call or click hbci.com and upgrade your internet today.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Russell & Associates, coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Justin Bailey now joins us. Thanks for being back again this season.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your first season as a Warrior coach. Get to the playoffs, face Bemidji State in the playoffs. Still a very successful season.
Yeah.
How do you feel things went year one for you?
It was definitely a new experience for me. I think just being a student assistant before and then all of a sudden becoming a position coach, it's a lot of new things to learn as time goes on. It's just throughout a year that you really don't even know until you're in it, having the first-hand experience. But I think as time went on, I got more and more comfortable and built the capacity to be able to do more and more things as time went on. And thought the guys got better as the year went on, tight end-wise and offense. And obviously we had some good success too, so I can't complain about going to the playoffs first year. So
right.
it was a good time, a lot of new experiences that were awesome. So cannot complain.
All right, so you knew you were coming back for this year. What are some of the things that you did in the off season as a coach to get you ready for year two?
I think it's just more, game planning stuff, and also just trying to learn as much as possible. Talking to people during the off season, talking with fellow coaches on our own staff. I think just learning new things, seeing what we did wrong, what we did good, what we can replicate, what we need to fix. And I think just as time goes on and having a whole year of a position experience, I think I was able to learn a lot of new things that now I could take in what I did well and what I didn't do well from year one to year two. So I think just new experiences and talking with more and more people about football. So.
All right. You said things that you did well and didn't do well.
Yeah.
So what were some of the things that you had to change then for this season?
I think a lot of the things were just fixing the stuff that I really didn't know I had to do, or I guess just new coaching experience stuff that you just don't realize until you're in the first-hand experience. So I think just learning that, and as time goes on, you start to learn more and more new things and see what things you do well and what things you don't do well. So
okay. So you coach tight ends and fullbacks. So there's a little bit of turnover from last year to this year, and then Tyler Zerpeli is one of the captains of the team. So tell us a little bit about that, about having a captain in your position group and trying to learn some new faces as well.
Yeah, I love Tyler. He's an awesome kid. He's an awesome guy. He's what you want in a leader. I think as time goes on, I know right as I got here, I saw that he was going to be a leader eventually at some point. And obviously now he's a captain this year, and it just, to me, it really just, it was what I envisioned for him to get to at some point, because I knew he had that in him. And so I was happy. I was super happy to see what he was able to do this year and with the captain. And then he's been getting so much better just as a person and as a player. So, having him a part of the room, having Dakota a part of the room. Last year he was hurt, and now he's finally back. He's also, in my eyes, one of the leaders of the offense too. So having him and Zerp in the same room is awesome.
All right, you mentioned Dakota Matthews. Obviously, he's a Winona Senior High graduate, so we know him well. Converted wide receiver into tight end. Tell us a little bit about that and what that switch was for him and for you guys.
Yeah, I know. Just Dakota's talked to me multiple times about his transition, and I know he went to junior college before Winona State, and just his transition was obviously a little bit different than others, just from going to junior college to a Division II school, also going back home too. So his transition was actually somewhat normal, I guess, in football terms, but he's worked his butt off, and he's gotten so much better, and just dealing with injuries too from last year to now, he's gone through a lot of adversities throughout his college career, and now to see him flourishing is awesome to see.
Tight ends and fullbacks are kind of an interesting position because based on the offense, they could be a really key part of the offense, or they could be kind of afterthoughts. But in Winona State, they're definitely a key in the offense. So what do you see as the role for tight ends and fullbacks in this offense?
I think just with how we run our offense, it's such a multitude of different things that we're able to do with tight ends, and I think just overall in football terms, I see a tight end and fullback. You're able to use them in different aspects of the game, whether that's run game, whether that's RPOs, or whether that's pass game. So you can use them in so many different areas of the game, and also just it expands your offense to where you're able to run different types of things, and also just creative stuff in general. So I think just using tight ends and fullbacks in multiple different ways, it stresses the defense and it expands a playbook too.
All right, last question for you then. Northern State is the opponent this week, looking to get back home and to get another win. What are some of the things that your position group has to do to be successful against Northern?
I think we really just got to lock into the technique stuff this week. I think just with Northern, they play a very similar game to what our offense plays. Their offense is Coach Frichty's offense from before, so there's a lot of similar stuff that we see throughout a week, and I feel like we have a good game plan going on, and I think this week is really just getting back to the basics of what we need to get better at and things to improve, things to replicate. So I think just really back to the basics and focus on the technique stuff for our group.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, and good luck against Northern this week.
Thank you.
All right. And we're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, Jalen Myrick will join us right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates certified public accountants and advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
Meet Jenny Saseski of Edina Realty. With nearly 30 years' experience, she knows that right now is the best time to sell your home. Jenny will help you get top dollar, higher than ever before. With today's low interest rates, it's time to upgrade your home and increase its value. High demand and low inventory also make this a perfect time to list your home. Call for a free market analysis. Contact Jenny Saseski at Edina Realty today, 507-458-7038.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We are brought to you by Russell & Associates, coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Jalen Myrick joins us here today. Thanks for coming back this season.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So let's talk a little bit, kind of the same with Coach Bailey. Second year here at Winona State. So what are some of the things that you learned in your first year as a coach that you've now used here in year two?
I would just say like just building my capacity up, and sometimes the hours do get long, but I appreciate the grind. I appreciate coming into the office. I appreciate just learning and getting used to things as I progress in coaching.
All right, and one of the things we talked about last year and maybe even this year, I mean, you have experience Division I football, you have experience in the NFL, you have experience, I think, XFL as well. Do you kind of use that to motivate some of the players that you're coaching now? Is that how do you take that knowledge and give that to them to say, hey, you can play like this as well?
Yeah, definitely. I use it a lot. I mean, that's really how I broadcast a lot of my messages to these guys, because I've seen guys with the same talent level and make it also. I've been in those meeting rooms, I've been in those stadiums, and my experience of playing at the highest level, professional ball and stuff like that, it just helps me in coaching and being able to explain what I'm seeing and understand what they're seeing out there.
Okay. What are some of the things that maybe you did this off-season to get ready for year 2 as a coach?
I would say just in the spring was just learn guys, learn personalities, learn how guys operate and move, and learn how they like to work. Because I feel like if you just have that relationship with them on if we get in the same goal and how they like to get to that goal, I'm able to help them get there. And that's one of the biggest things that helped me, was just having good communication with them and being there for them.
All right, let's talk about some of your position group. What are some of the things that you've seen early on in this season that maybe need to get better, need to improve?
I've seen a lot of good things. I've seen a lot of good things from the cornerback, from the safety group this year, and we've been getting better every week. And I've been liking what I've been seeing. Some things that we might need to just work on is maybe just being able to high point the ball a little bit better and just finish on some of the turnovers that we should have. But we're doing a really good job. I appreciate the guys' work. They've been working really hard. As long as they keep doing what they're doing, we'll be fine.
Yeah, you have been getting some turnovers already this season. What's that like as a coach to be able to see that success on the field?
I love it, especially in the defensive back group. Anytime we get turnovers, I love that stuff, because we're taking the ball away, taking points off the board, and getting it back to our offense to go score.
All right. One of the things about college football, obviously, as playing, is there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of new faces. You develop relationships with some players, and then they graduate already. Yeah. So what's that like for you to try to bring in the new guys and still maintain relationships with the guys that have been here?
It's pretty easy for me. I'm really outgoing, so it's really easy for me to just hang out with these guys or bring in those guys to meet the older guys. And it's nothing. I'm very outgoing, like I said, so it's not very hard for me to do that. We all, especially in our group, we communicate very well, and we all hang out and still talk and have group chats and stuff. So we have a lot of communication going on, and it's just easy to integrate, because at the end of the day, everybody wants the same goal.
Tell us a little bit about what you see in defensive backs that maybe those of us who are just kind of watching and don't have the experience. What are some of the things that the defensive backs do in the defense that maybe we don't see just watching?
Biggest thing I would say is just depending on what type of cornerback you are, safety that you're looking and watching. For corners, I would say, just for in general, I look at a lot of his feet, lateral quickness, if he's able to stop and get out of a break, stop, get out of a cut, be able to run, jump, stop. That's one of my biggest things that I always say is, can you run, jump, and stop? Because some guys, it takes time for them to actually really be able to do all three at a good level, at an elite level. So, those are some of the things that I look for. Safeties, how instinctual are you? Are you able to attack the high point the ball? Are you able to make close space tackles? So things like that.
Who do you expect to have a good week this week for those that watch the Northern game?
I expect our corners to have a really good week this week. I expect A.J. Lacey to have a good week this week, James Williams, Jamon Williams. And I also expect our safety group to have a real good week this week. Nick Picaro, T. Root, Griff Weigel, Vernon Port, all those guys I expect to have really good games this week. I'm excited to watch them play this week.
All right, and so what are some of the things that those guys need to do to be successful to get a win against Northern?
As long as they just stay on point with their technique, keep their eyes locked in, focused on what the responsibility they're supposed to be on, we'll be all right.
All right, well, I appreciate the time, and good luck this week against Northern.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for watching the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We'll see you next week.